Hi, everyone. Usually I give this intro to the demo calls from my dark office at 7 p.m. in London, but I am very excited to be speaking to you from sunny, beautiful Northern California. I'm here in Berkeley for a couple of days before I ride my bike from San Francisco to Los Angeles next week. And then from Los Angeles, I will be flying to Singapore, and I will be so excited to see all of these people in person, all of these faces on the call, and you're going to speak to them a little bit more, but also attend the amazing talks, the hackathon, the social nights at the OHBM annual meeting. So my name is Kirsty. I'm one of the members of the OHBM Open Science Special Interest Group, the SIG, and we have my co-members from the Open Science SIG, Greg and Anisha, are going to be talking about the hackathon. And we have Nils from the communications team for OHBM. He's going to be talking about some of the comms sort of initiatives that will be happening through the meeting before and after. But I'm going to start by introducing Aki, Michele, and Ayaka from the Student and Postdoc SIG. Michele, do you want to get us started by just telling everyone maybe a little bit about the SIG and what you do?
Hi, Kirsty. Thanks for having us. I'm the chair of the OHBM Student and Postdoc Special Interest Group. And our SIG basically looks after trainees, so students and postdocs. We try to promote their work. We provide networking and career development, personal, professional support. And we also really try to look after the trainees all year round, so not just at the meeting. We've got lots of initiatives at the meeting that we'll tell you about, but we really just try to look after trainees year round.
That's amazing. And yes, I have a few different notes of some of the initiatives that we're going to talk on. So I'm going to start with asking Aki. I think a lot of people who've been to OHBM in the past will have been to the Monday night social. I don't know how much they know how much work goes into organizing the Monday night social and how appreciative people should be to the Student and Postdoc SIG. But do you want to tell us a little bit about Singapore's party?
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks for having me. So this year, we're really excited about the Monday night social. So basically, the Monday night social is the OHBM Student Interest Group's flagship event with Neuro Bureau. And the idea for this year is basically it's going to be kind of an open science gala. We have stepped up our game a bit this year, and we're really happy about it. We are going to be taking over this giant, absolutely gorgeous rooftop lounge. I want to screen share with you to show you guys what this looks like. This place is absolutely beautiful. Just real quick. So I don't know if you can see this, but it's basically this like, great. Yeah, so it's this rooftop lounge that like overlooks all of Singapore. You get these amazing views. It's going to be just really spectacular. We've got, it's called One Altitude, and there's a club downstairs called Ultimate, and that's the dance club. So we're going to be dancing. We're going to be, you know, hanging out with one another. It's going to be really fun. Oh, okay, good. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't screen sharing anymore. So we're going to be having that. It's going to start at 8, and from 8 to 9, there's going to be free drinks and snacks for attendees. It's like this is one of the like well-known places in Singapore to go out to. So we're really happy that we had the generous sponsorship from the Wellcome Institute for Neuroscience and the Child Mind Institute to enable us to pull off this big event. We were planning something smaller in scale, and we were really happy that we were able to actually get this. So at 10 p.m. we're going to have an announcement of all the open science, of all the brain art winners. So all the people who have submitted, there's like several different categories of brain art that people are submitting to, videos, like MRI images and other art pieces, and we'll be announcing the winners there. So this is going to be a really great chance for everyone to obviously get to meet one another, to network. with other scientists, and also to meet maybe, you know, if you're a grad student, maybe find places you want to do a postdoc. This is the kind of you know, interaction, or maybe connect labs. These are the kind of events that that we are hoping that will sort of bring the community more together. Also, the one last thing I wanted to just plug real quick was our website. So if you go to ohbmtrainees.com, you can find our website, and it has tons of information all about the open science like initiatives that we support here. I have it pulled up. So basically, you can see we have you can learn more about the SIG and our different initiatives that Michele and there's Michele, that Michele and everyone else is working so hard to put forward. So yeah, just wanted to make sure that everyone was aware that the website exists, because it's a really great resource. Yeah, I think that's it for me.
That's amazing. Yeah, thank you so much. And actually, so we're going to have to, I feel like we could keep asking more questions about everyone on here, but because we only have 30 minutes, I'm going to hand over to Michele again. Thank you for the lovely shot on the website, and just a mini shout out to my lab mate from my postdoc, František Vaša, who came up with the lovely logo for the OHBM Student Postdoc SIG. Michele, do you want to tell everyone a little bit about the mentorship program that the SIG have been working on?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, the logo is awesome. So we're really happy about that. So the mentoring program is now in its third round. We started it last year, and it's now accepting people for mentors and mentees. And you can go to the website and find how to join the program now. So we've got 450 participants from over 30 countries, and we pair mentors and mentees from around the world. So there's no constraint on geography, because we feel like all over the world we're going through the same things in science. We are this year trying to do a big drive to get more industry mentors, because there's a lot of people who don't take traditional paths and who don't necessarily want to stay in academia. So we want to make sure that we cover everybody, what everybody is looking for in their careers. And we cover people of all career stages. So people can join as a mentor or as a mentee or as both. So you, no matter what career stage you are in, you can always give advice to somebody who's starting out a little bit before you. And all we ask is that mentors just meet with their mentees a couple of times a year, minimum of quarterly, but as much as you feel works for your relationship. Look over a couple of applications and help your mentee, if it's a fellowship application or a grant application, depending on what stage you're at. And yeah, that's it really. It's open now. Our second round participants will be meeting in Singapore for the first time, so that's always exciting, because those relationships will get started, and hopefully they'll end up in long-standing relationships with support throughout the year.
Oh yes, no, I'm not muted. Everything's okay. So I think that I remember you saying that you can be both a mentor and a mentee at the same time. Is that right? Have I remembered that correctly?
Yes, yeah, you can. So you can mentor. We only ask that there's around about 3 years difference between mentors and mentees. So we try to match people at least 3 years more experience than you, and that works really well, because when there's a large gap between mentor and mentees, often the scientific environment's completely changed, and it's kind of difficult to navigate. Whereas when somebody's a couple of years above you, they've sort of been through what you're coming up towards, and that really is helpful. So yeah, if you're a postdoc, say you're a junior postdoc, you can have an early PI as a mentor, and you can mentee a PhD student or a master's student. So we try to cover sort of everybody. Of course, we're looking after trainees first. But we do have lots of new PIs. We've got established PIs. We try to get everyone in the community involved.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. just again, I could ask more questions, and it's really wonderful that this happens, that this continues all the way through the year, and you get the opportunity to meet in Singapore, but everyone can take part throughout the year, and I really love this kind of feeling of, oh, actually, maybe I do have some information to pass on, even if I'm still learning from people more senior to me. Ayaka, do you want to tell everyone a little bit about the mentorship lunch that's happening at the annual meeting?
Yes, exactly. So we have a symposium that we have organized that is free for everyone to come. The title or the theme of this year's symposium is Secrets Behind Success. So we got this idea from the anti-CV or the CV failures concept that was emerging, highlighting that even seemingly sort of flawless scientific careers from big names have their ups and downs. So we have two exciting speakers, Professor Thomas Nichols. He is, his theme is going to be life in academia and research and back. So he'll be talking about balancing the two, research and industry, and explaining how to get the best out of both worlds. And also we have the OHBM Young Investigator for 2017 winner, Associate Professor Gina Uden. So her talk is going to be about falling better. She'll be discussing ways in which scientists can, use rejection as a motivation and a teaching tool to actually do better or be productive and face challenges. This will be held on Tuesday, 19th of June at around lunchtime. So it's starting at 12 p.m. And like I said, this event is open to everyone and dedicated especially to early career researchers. And excitingly, we also have a Lunch with Mentors event following the symposium. This is supported by the Wellcome Center for Integrative Neuroimaging, thankfully, and we are catering bento boxes for each participant or each attendee and their mentors. So what you can do in this lunch, it's a 45-minute lunch where you can share some food and share some ideas, talk about mentorship and mentoring with people who are with keynote. We have keynote speakers as well as keynote speakers. So we have Irene Tracy as a keynote speaker who is coming to the lunch, as well as Alex Finito, Stefan Frassel, Andre Altman, Svenja Kaspers, Gwilyn Fernandez. We also have the two speakers coming to the lunch as well, and you get to ask a few questions on their career ups and downs, how they've come to where they've got to, and they get to say a little bit of a spiel of their project as well. And due to the increasing interest in industry positions as well, we managed to get 3 industry members to join our lunch session as well. And so we have Nina from Neuroimaging Tools and Resources Collaboration, Patrick from Brain Vision, and also Rock Kumar from Rogue Research. And we also have our own Kirsty as well coming to the lunch, which is great. Yeah, and then we actually have, it's fully booked at the moment, but please go to our website to get on the waiting list. It's ohbmtrainees.com.
Thank you so much. That's awesome. I'm so looking forward to that. I think one of the reasons that I was so excited about the fact that you can be both a mentor and a mentee is that I'm very happy to chat with people who are going to be at that lunch, and I'm delighted to be invited there. But I'm also so excited to learn from the symposium and from everyone else who's there. So thank you all so much for all your hard work on organizing that. Just to be really clear, you don't have to be part of the year-long mentorship program to attend the Lunch with Mentors, right? That's something that if you happen to be around and want a lunch, you can sign up for the waitlist and come along to that. So I suppose just as a little thing, if you're on the waitlist, you should make sure that you are keeping that up to date, because I'm sure that waitlist will get longer and longer as we go forwards. Thank you so much, Aki, Michele, and Ayaka. I am going to sort of zoom straight on to a shared screen. I'm delighted to see Greg and Anisha in the same room in Montreal. And they are my fellow Open Science SIG members, and they've been organizing the OHBM hackathon this year. Greg and Anisha, do you want to tell us a little bit more about it?
Hello.
Hi.
Go ahead.
So yes, the OHBM hackathon has been happening for a while now. It's usually 3 days before the main conference. And it's a really great event because it's a bunch of scientists with very diverse and different skill sets and knowledge bases that come together and work on open-ended projects that are usually planned and executed in the 3 days of the hackathon. It's a really great opportunity to learn new skills and learn new science that you never would have exposed yourself to normally. So this year we actually decided to also have a train track. So Greg, tell us more about that.
Yeah, so here, I'm just gonna figure out how to share my screen. You know, technology,
Ooh.
Whoa, that was recursive. So here on the website for anybody who wants to find it is ohbm.github.io/hackathon2018. And the URL is a bit misleading because, as Anisha said, this isn't just a hackathon anymore. So now we also have this training component. So traditionally, the Brain Hack has been, again, this forum for people to just sit down and work on projects and network, and then have some on-conference discussions. But what we realized was missing was kind of an onboarding process, a way to take people that may not be familiar with some of the foundational skills that would make being an open scientist or kind of a brain hacker, so to speak, easy, and kind of help them get these skills. So the hack track has, I'll just kind of scroll through. I believe, depending on the version of Chrome, these boxes may be colored in. We haven't hammered out the details, unfortunately. So you can see, again, on the hack track, there's lots of different topics. So Repronym, who some of you may be familiar with, is running a few workshops throughout this. We are learning about the brain imaging data structure, Git and GitHub for versioning code, NiPipe for writing pipelines, DiPi, CPAC for diffusion and functional processing, respectively. And the list goes on, including this great workshop that Kirsty will actually be leading and is sponsored by Mozilla for building open communities, which I'm particularly excited about. So yeah, that's what we're trying to do this year, to really onboard new developers and increase the diversity of people who can feel comfortable at these events. So in addition to trying to gain some diversity in terms of skill sets and background, we also strive this year for a lot of gender and geographical diversity as well. And Anisha made this cool visualization she'll tell you about.
Yeah, I'm proud of this hack. It's an interactive 3D globe, and it shows where our participants are coming from. And initially, when I wrote this, we didn't have anyone from South America, or, oh wait, no, there is someone from South Africa. I haven't updated it. Oh no, okay. The point is, we have someone from every continent except for Antarctica. So I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, and we're not sure if Antarctic scientists are studying the brain very much. Oh no, stop sharing.
No.
That is phenomenal. Yeah.
I love it. Thank you so much for all of your work on this. One of the things that I'm really proud of, and you know, you emphasized it an awful lot, the diversity and the kind of how you sort of bring people in and how you onboard people into this kind of space that has sometimes had a feel of being a little bit sort of cliquey and a little maybe elitist, and I think everyone in the open science and specifically the SIG, but in the broader brain hack community, don't want that. They want to sort of make it something that everyone is able to attend. And there's an interesting sort of challenge that this year we were too popular and we had to close registrations because we had so many people who wanted to come along. Michele is asking a question. Is there any way to take part even if you're not actually attending the hackathon or the train track? Do you have any ideas about that?
That segues phenomenally into what I was going to tell you about next, actually. So thank you for the question, Michele and Kirsty. Another great thing that we've been trying to organize, and actually Felix Hofstadter has been leading this year, is the Open Science Room. So throughout the Open Science Room, the Open Science Room will be open throughout the OHBM meeting. And there will be demos, there will be tutorials, there will be unconference type discussions or roundtables. So one that I know will be happening, for example, is the Brain Imaging Data Structure, BIDS, which is an emerging kind of group and an organization which focuses on standardizing different data formats and the way data can be shared really easily in neuroimaging, is going to be having an extension proposal meeting in the Open Science Room. And that's a really nice way that maybe you've interacted on the mailing lists, maybe you've communicated with these people via Slack or something like that, but to kind of get down in the same room and really share ideas and bounce things off one another and practice what kind of the skills and with the tools you want to use with the people that made them. And we'll also be teaching BrainHack 101 at lunchtime during the educational course day, and it might bleed a little after lunch if you want to come and hang out. And
you can also hear about all the results of our hackathon, and the different projects will be presented at the Open Science Room as well.
Yeah, so I think that's Monday night. We're going to be having the kind of hackathon wrap up. Yeah, there will be presentations. We'll show you some summary statistics about who all attended and everything like that, and hopefully have like a fun trailer for you if my GoPro decides to work and I figure out how to edit videos in time.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, just one extra thing to figure out and work on. The other is that the BrainHack community has a Slack channel that everyone is welcome to join in. It sort of ebbs and flows in activity. There's always like a little bit of latent activity, and then during a hackathon, whether that's like the OHBM hackathon or whether it's BrainHack Global or different ones that are happening around the world, as scheduled by the organizers, you'll sometimes see like a big pickup. So everyone's very, very welcome to come along and join that community as well. Thank you so much, Anisha. Just in case everyone's sort of following along and being like, oh, they're sending me so many links and I can't write them all down fast enough. One of the things that our guests before these demo calls do is send us a couple of sentences and a few key links that are important for what they want to demo and tell us about. And then it's supposed to be Elizabeth and me, but it's 99% of the time all Elizabeth writes that up into a little blog post, and we send that along to Nils and the rest of the communications team, and they make sure that a little summary, you can watch this video again on YouTube, but we make sure that there's a few different sort of, a couple of sentences explaining who everyone is and those important links, and we'll make sure that all of the links that have been mentioned so far are in that blog post. But Nils, that's, I hope, a pretty decent segue over to introduce you, and maybe you can tell us, beyond summarizing our thoughts and putting up blog posts specifically for them, what else does the communications team do?
Yeah, that was a flawless segue. Well done. So yeah, thank you very much for inviting me to talk a bit about what the comms team does. So the OHBM Communication Committee was created by OHBM leadership. It had Randy Golub elected as its first chair, and the current chair is Jeanette Mumford. And so what they did was they got OHBM members to contribute to communications by having a call first for members and dividing them into people who work on the blog team, to people who work on a kind of social media team, people who work on lay media, and also people who work on the website as well. And so what we're aiming to do with the communication committee is really take advantage of a lot of the information and resources that OHBM has, OHBM members have, and use that to the advantage of the brain mapping community kind of more widely. We try and let OHBM members know about new initiatives and offer a kind of year-round presence. So what I thought I could talk about here is some of the information that's already available that you can go through, you can click around on, you can learn about. And so some of the things have already come up. We had a post last year from somebody who attended the hackathon for the first time. And I think, like has been said, there was perhaps a bit of a concern for those who perhaps don't come from a computer science background about what the hackathon would involve, how they'd be able to contribute to it. And so Ayaka, who was a first-time attendee, he wrote about his experiences, about the kind of projects that came up. And I think, like Kirsty said earlier on, it really kind of demystifies this whole kind of process. And it'll be really interesting seeing, does the actual demographics of those who attend change this year, and you know, can we cover it again and see how things have changed with this new format that Greg was talking about. And the other things that we have, so we can promote the Education Award. So we had David Van Essen, and he was talking about the educational program that he runs for brain mappers. And so there you can get an idea of the kind of philosophies that he uses and those kind of approaches, and think about how you could use them locally for national kind of educational courses for brain mappers. Another thing that we really want to promote through the comms team is the fact that, you know, if you can't make the OHBM meeting, there are plenty of resources out there for getting involved. So that we have an on-demand portal, and so there, you know, if you're interested in diffusion MR, there's a whole workshop on diffusion MR analyses, so you can find out about quality control from you know, using lectures from Alex Lehman's. There's group comparisons that you can do, so you can find out about that from Anton Beer, connectomics. You know, these are the very kind of popular workshops that come up. But you've also got things like the keynote lectures. So a couple of years ago, Bill Seeley gave a talk on network-based neurodegeneration. And I was saying just before that, you know, I personally found that really interesting. I came up with a grant idea from that, and now have a PhD student who's working on a similar project in people with MS. And so these resources are available there. You know, you've got Talia Yarkoni who's talking about generalizability in fMRI. And what I'll do is I'll put some links up to some of these kind of highlighted talks, and you can go through, have a click through and see the kind of huge amount of resources that are there. If you're not interested, you know, if you're using other techniques, there is kind of MEG and EEG symposiums about kind of neuronal oscillations, and so, you know, it's a very kind of rich database there. So what I'm really doing is focusing a bit on what we've done as part of the blog team, because that's what I've been involved from the beginning. And so the other initiatives that we've managed to promote are, like Michele was saying, there's the mentorship scheme. So it was talking about what some people have got through those kind of experiences, you know, or perhaps what people are looking for, and so we can help promote that as well. We've also been able to talk about the demo calls. So yeah, Kirsty and Liz do a fantastic job of kind of summarizing those. And so those are kind of archived. So if you want to go back through, you want a quick summary, you want to go through and watch those videos, they're all available there. We've been able to promote the COBIDUS, the consensus views on data sharing and data integrity. And one thing that's come about more recently is trying to highlight the brain mapping that's going on in different countries that perhaps don't get as much exposure as, you know, as certain geographical regions do. So Jean Chen was interviewing brain mappers from Iran, both talking to the PIs that are there, talking to, you know, trainees who are either still in Iran or who have come through to Europe or to North America. And this is one of, you know, our most viewed posts over the last month. People are really interested to find out, you know, what the kind of advantages are of working there, what the challenges are, and you know, how moving around might kind of affect that. We've got another one coming out perhaps over the next 3. We've got loads of blog posts that are about to come out, so it's quite an exciting time. But we've got interviews with brain mappers in Cuba and Latin America, and so we're finding out about, you know, what their particular kind of situation is. And so what we have, so there's already a huge amount of resources out there. We've achieved a huge amount in the last 3 years. With the blog, so we get about 300,000 views a year. And then I speak to the captain of the lay media team, who is Kevin, and is Kevin Weiner, and is now Kat Dobrikova. And they get, you know, 3 million views a year, so they put us to shame. But really, they're targeting a kind of slightly different audience. This is definitely down to the talents of the comms members that we have. So we have early career researchers that are involved. We have Panthea Haidari, Aman, we have David Mailer, we have Shruti Vij. We have more kind of recent PIs, so Thomas Yeo, Jean Chen, Nicholas Stikov, and we have more senior researchers like Nico Kriegeskorte, Jessica Turner, Russ Poldrak has been involved. We're always looking for contributors. So, you know, if you'd like the chance to interview keynote speakers, to go and speak to the kind of leading brain mappers in your field, then we can certainly help you arrange that. And if you have a talent for science writing, then do get in touch with us, and I'll put a contributor link in the blog post that comes out of this, which wraps that up nicely, I hope.
Yeah, that's amazing. Very slick handoff. Yeah, the one of the things that I'm sort of so deeply proud of, talking to everyone on this call and thinking more broadly about all of the hard work that you're representing from all of the other members of the teams, is OHBM's commitment to diversity and also being useful and valuable year round. So diversity, as has already come up, diversity of sort of age and gender and geographical location. And I know we get quite a lot of feedback that it'd be really nice to focus a little bit more on EEG and MEG rather than just MRI as being the only brain imaging technique. But thank you so much to everyone. I think it's really wonderful that OHBM moves around different locations around the world. I know that Singapore is reasonably difficult to get to for North Americans, probably also South Americans and some Europeans as well. But I think it's really, really great that we move the conference around and make it accessible for people who are coming from Australia or Asia and the many different countries that are closer to Singapore. The on-demand program means that all of the talks will be available to OHBM members pretty quickly and then to everyone straight away. I think as well, there will be a Twitter hashtag that everyone will be able to kind of follow along at least some of the fun and some of the discussions that are happening at the meeting. So if you're not able to come to Singapore, that's one way of sort of keeping in touch. Check out the blog. I will put a little shout out. There was an interview with my postdoc supervisor, Professor Ed Bullmore, which was a really great one that came up very recently. You all should go and check out that interview. It's great. He also has a new book, so you should buy his new book. I'm not paid by him. And if you are going to be in Singapore, then I hope that you are able to come along to the hackathon. If not, please don't come by and say hello and ask us any questions, give us any feedback on the demo calls, feedback on any of the initiatives in the Open Science Room. Huge thank you to Felix for organizing that. And I was pretty excited about the Monday night social, but after Aki's description, I am now like really excited about that rooftop bar and seeing all of the people there. I'm really looking forward to the mentorship symposium as well. And we will get this blog post out with all of the links that you need. And if anyone is excited, you will be able to stand for election for the Open Science SIG. Michele, is there also going to be elections for the Student Postdoc SIG coming up?
Yeah, we'll start advertising after the meeting.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna open ours, I think, just before the meeting, but the elections will actually happen after the meeting, so you don't need to be, so you can do a little bit of campaigning during the meeting, but you don't have to be too preoccupied with that. And if more people head along to contribute to the blog, there are so many blog posts that come out, and just think how many more if everyone if people were able to give a little bit more time if they were interested in talking to some of these excellent researchers in the community. I said before we started the call, I said to all of our guests that we were going to try very much to stay on time. I have not succeeded in that because it has been so much fun and so interesting and so exciting. Everybody have a great few weeks, and we will either see you online or we will see you in person at Singapore. Thank you so much to everyone, and take care. Easy.